be creating the fate of this age of the world. We'll decide what that age of the world means. The one thing I've discovered in the previous campaign we had, it was all so closely tied together, all the stuff we created, that literally in the second session, they destroyed the entire rest of like the fate that was supposed to happen.
Okay.
Like there was not one thing in there that wasn't completely just. It was great. The moment it happened, we just absolutely lost it. And then we went back like a couple sessions later and added to it. But one thing we want to make sure is we're looking at things that happen across a large span of time. So if you've got like a Silmarillion or something like that in mind, that actually works super well for what this is. So I guess the first part with Wield is just, or with Microscope, is just looking at the big picture. Now, I've kind of got the basic, like the fate that's supposed to happen over this age of the world, but we get to decide what this age of the world actually, what an age of the world actually means. So, what do we want, like, an age to be? Like, what demarcates like one age from another? What is the thing that makes it an age?
Well,
I guess. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Oh, just thinking about real world. I mean, there a couple possibilities include, the passing of a certain grandly historical figure. There's also, various technological milestones we could use, or even just go by simple, blocks of time, like like a millennium, for example. As far as what we use, we could do the Foundation route maybe. And how would we feel about like every time the world gets destroyed, that's a new age? Is that too much?
No, that's fine. That's a 13th age kind of thing too.
Yeah, that's right. Also like the Mayan thing was like the world would be destroyed, then I don't know if it was rebuilt or done whatever by the next kind of god in line. So to go with the creation and destruction of the world?
Sure.
Okay. So one thing we want to decide on that, and that's one thing we kind of figure out the bookends. When we want to look at, and what makes sense, particularly because if we're looking over things that have been around for a very long time, that somehow the Vacha remain throughout, like the different times it's been destroyed. Do we want anyone else to have done that, or the Vacha, like the Vacha and the gods, maybe the only things that are the same between?
I like the idea of Vacha transcending ages.
Okay. Cool. So if we're cool with that, I think before we get the bookends, because I think that'll help determine the palette will help a little bit determine what the book will actually be, because we kind of like the first bookend seems like it's pretty simple, and that is creation of the world. I don't know if there's anything else we want to put in there, but we can kind of decide that in a bit.
Well, I mean, is it the creation of the world, or the first kind of when people became aware and started recording history? I mean, were the Vacha there even before people, or is that a thing we're going to figure out when we start play?
I know. I like the idea that you actually exist between, because it gives you this, and particularly if the world's been destroyed, there's a massive history that is literally gone now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think that's
for yours. It might have been this mighty kingdom, but however it got remade, it got sunk in the creation, and you want that back.
Yeah, sure. So
what if
go ahead.
What if the beginning bookend were the creation of the Vacha, like we came before anything else?
I think for the stuff we're doing, it's good if you have a history that's been around for a long time for all the different Vacha, because they'll be kind of coming in and out. So the one thing I would like is like the Vacha actually remain through the different ages. Like if you don't get your thing in this age, it might happen in another.
Okay, so then the bookends are the creation and destruction of the universe, as opposed to just our world.
It would take it further back than we need to. And actually, we'd want to end with the end of this age.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
what we'll be doing is just the stuff in this age, so we can.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we
basically, the actual game will take place in the millennia or however many long it is. Because I'll have, like, when a wielder dies, we'll usually skip, like, at the next decent point, skip 75 to 100 years or something.
Yeah, a couple of generations, something.
Yeah,
like that.
so you get this, like, long-standing, like, the world changes. And
That's cool. So I think like generally when you start a game of Microscope, you're like, what kind of cosmic scope of time are we talking about here? But if this is like if we're kind of doing a little bit of a mini Microscope where we're doing an age, then yeah, absolutely, it makes sense to bookend. Start of that age, end of that age is our two bookends. It seems like.
Do we want to tie the first bookend to one of the goals of our Vacha? I'm just going over the spreadsheet right now. There are a couple goals that could be used to create the first bookmark.
Yeah, like I've got a cataclysmic world event tied to my Vacha's goal, and so if we have one bookend be the fall of Deluvia. That probably kicked off a bunch of stuff. So,
yeah. Do we even want to step back and say, the rise of Deluvia being the?
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, that'd totally be cool. Yeah, we start with Deluvia being whatever the first civilization that arose after the last time the world was destroyed. I think that's fantastic.
So first one, the rise of Deluvia.
Yep.
Okay, first book. And what would you like that? Not switch. Oh, there we go. And what would you like to have be the thing that ends the age? Do you want to have an event that goes with it, or?
I have an idea for kind of an abstract. I'm just going to throw this out. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but what if the last thing was something abstract like the perfect tourist returns from their journeys?
I'll say we don't have probably the far end tied into a specific Vacha, simply because it'll be a drop in, drop out campaign. So
gotcha.
It could be a thing where that's someone I played with on a one shot. And they're not available Tuesday at some point. Then it's something that's like starting off is cool because we'll be able to begin with Deluvia and the fall of it.
How about? Do you have any? Jim? Do you have any thoughts about what the end cap could be for this age?
Here's here.
Sorry, give me just half a second.
Oh, sure.
It's when Delbert unplugs the world.
So I guess so one of the questions is, do these ages of creation and destruction, are they on a cycle? Like, are they do they happen at random, or is it like every 30 7,777 years when the great comet returns, we know that's going to be when civilization falls or something like that? Is there some kind of signaling event that indicates that's like it's over, like Ragnarok is coming, or is it just a like one age might be 500 years, one might be 50,000, and we don't know?
Well, nice thing is, if it's tied to an event like the Great Comet coming through or something, it means that nobody can do anything about it.
And that was kind of my thought there, that like the end of the age is the end of the age, and the Vacha basically like wherever you're at, okay, you know, the astronomers have seen the comet, and that means that whatever schemes we have going, we've got like 50 years to get it done, or we're going to be buried under ash or ice or whatever, while civilization rebuilds itself for the next couple of dozen generations or something like that. I think that's kind of cool.
We're gonna go with that.
Good on that.
So there'll be a how should we word that last bookend?
Go ahead.
Is it like the coming of the Great Comet, or?
Yeah, coming of the Great Comet. I think that's fantastic.
What's hilarious is the people wouldn't know about that, but the Vacha would.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like the people, like I said, some astronomer sees a star and it's like, oh, it looks like it's moving. And the Vacha suddenly are like, holy crap! They all start freaking out, and like it escalates their conflict with each other and all that kind of stuff as they, like I said, they try to get shit done, which in my head it now occurs to me may be one of the things that like the Vacha freaking out and ramping up their their aggression may be one of the things that like causes the collapse. There may be it's tough to say after the dozenth time this has happened whether there's cause and effect or merely correlation between the fall of civilization and the and the Vacha suddenly kicking into overdrive. I kind of love that.
I'll make a note on there because you add some stuff. I do kind of like the idea that one of them figures it out and just has like T-shirts where it says "Keep calm and don't destroy the world again, guys."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, cool. That gives us definite starting and end point. So then, for our palettes, you can kind of go around and do what are things we'd like to see? What are things we'd like to not see? What do you want to add? What do you want to ban? And for these, if you want, so you can get used to doing them. I will. Oops, I'm going to change that. I will. The colors there, it makes it a little bit easier to see. That's under like change label or edit labels. If you want, you can type in a thing and then move it to the one you want, either the add or the ban.
Where do we type in under add a list?
Yeah, at the very bottom. At the very bottom, like below ban, there should be like a little. This is add a card. And if you click there, a little card will show up.
And then you could add the appropriate color.
Yeah, or even what I found stuff, just like if we put like, I'll just put a thing one. I've got thing one here. If we just kind of put it here.
Oh, like that. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and then it just everything below the blue is. It just makes it easy to kind of look real quick and see.
Are we just going to free for all this, or do we want to go around?
Yeah, I think we should probably go around and see what people
round robin. Yeah, I think it works a little better.
Mike, do you want to start?
Sure. Now, I guess one thing we should add the existence of divine powers / deities, since I'm just extrapolating from what we have in our Vacha spreadsheets.
Yeah, that's some of those things we can.
Yeah, so that'll be my addition.
Or we can just kind of look through and add some stuff that are clearly a part of it, and then we can, then create them, because like we civilization, Garden of Paradise, those things are on there. We can kind of assume those and then add to them. Here, I'll just put.
Yeah, I know. Technically, this is the part where we're supposed to add new stuff. I'm just ramping up my imagination here.
Okay. I'll just mention. Was the Garden of Paradise in this age or a previous age?
Let's say a previous age. So it's never existed in this era.
All right. I'll go last on some of these, partly because I want to ideally add less than you guys do, simply since it's kind of fun to get the surprises, because outside of the basics of the campaign, which is pretty much taken care of now, just the Age of the World thing. Beyond that, you guys will go wild, and I'll throw some stuff in too.
Oh, what? Okay, no one can fly. There's no airplanes. There's no hang gliders. There's no, unless they actually have access to power that lets them do that because they've got a bot.
How do you feel about humans only?
I'm fine. I'm fine with humans only.
Yeah, me too. I don't have any. I don't necessarily need any extra species running around.
Yeah, because it keeps from having to do the someone doing the Tolkien stuff in there, or if it's or suddenly you're trying to deal with like a bunch of different civilizations and trying to make them weird and unusual. Lets it focus on a little more on the Vacha and the people that they're with. Yeah, we can kind of go around until we feel like we've got a good amount.
Can I add the possibility of travel between dimensions? Just as a possibility. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of caught up on this whole perfect. I'm very intrigued by this perfect tourist concept that Patrick's added. So
add
a possibility.
Add other dimensions. There you go. Yeah.
Sure. Other dimensions are radically reachable. So I don't envision it being a common capability amongst the society. Oop, I just lost it after. Oh no, there it is. I don't imagine it being a common feature of the society, of this civilization necessarily, but it's at least theoretically possible at some point.
Okay.
So that'll be my next addition.
Cool. And Jim?
Oh, let me see. You know what? I want pirates.
For a yay or nay? Oh, yay! It is.
It's under
my last game was a pirate game.
Do you want to have pirates being a big part of it? Is this a world of islands, like small continents, or?
Well, there's they're like trying to restore a civilization that's sunk beneath the waves. Is one of our is on the table, and so I feel like that allows me to get some pirates in there.
Okay. I like the idea of strange ancient monuments that were essentially created almost as memories of previous ages. That some of them are like enormous. These are kind of created by the gods or whoever creates the world at the beginning. And the people of this age have no idea what they actually mean. But for y'all, it could actually have a... It's odd, Harkin is not in there. But yeah, a thing that for you, they actually mean something. Like Yes album covers at different places.
Who's next in rotation?
Oh, you.
Okay. How do we feel? How would we feel about the existence of, say, do we want holy wars to be kind of a thing, like religious-based wars to be a big theme?
So this is it's your call. I mean, I think this is the part of the thing where we talk about what we want to see and don't want to see. I don't think we really get to veto each other on this, do we?
Theoretically we're allowed to like discuss and negotiate, but
yeah. And in particular,
once someone lays it down, it's
we had at least one Vacha who wants to turn their wielder into a god, and religions are a super easy thing for a Vacha to create. That could be like part of an arsenal, or it could be something the Vacha are totally on. I think that's cool.
I have absolutely no problem with gigantic continents banning holy wars.
Did you want them or not want them?
Let's throw them in. I just wanted to make sure that was cool.
Totally awesome.
But how about competing Messiah figures?
Okay.
So they're definitely in conflict, but maybe not necessarily conflict militarily, but definitely in conflict.
In the previous games, the players started two religions based on the same person. Also created a god accidentally, and then took the savior figure we made in Microscope and turned him into like an Antichrist figure.
So I picked no resurrection, which is to say, I think there's a couple of Vacha powers that let you resurrect people, but that's the only thing that can do it. Gods are great and all, and holy wars are holy, but when you're dead, you're dead. You're dead and you're gone, and the only thing that can bring you back is the Vacha.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I get a general vibe, at least. What I'm extrapolating is that Vacha are above even the gods, because it's a game about Vacha. So
yeah,
might be.
Yeah,
it can be. Or they may or may not interact, but at the very least, they're sort of outside the scope.
Yeah.
Of the gods, because like they can't. The thing that would let them know like the future oracles, stuff like that. The Vacha, since they destroy fate, they're sort of outside of that. So maybe not more powerful, but definitely a frightening thing. Going off, I was thinking, what was it? You mentioned. Oh, I like. What do you think of the idea of small folk magics that work? Like nothing huge and big. It's more like little things that help with like farming and the crops. Little little things left out to spirits that will help around the house, kind of thing. Like those sort of little rituals. Super minor, probably more of a flavor thing, but they are things that do work.
Sounds cool to me.
Yep, that's great.
That's one thing I kind of liked in it's a RuneQuest, where it's just these little minor things that they have. Like a regular person might know a couple of these little things, but it's often nothing that's usually terribly useful. More just this helps us protect us from the weather a tiny bit.
Nothing really comes to mind to continue adding or banning at this point.
Jim, anything for you?
No, I think we got a pretty good palette to work with here.
Okay. Sounds good to me as well. All right. So at this point, yeah, it says, according to the cheat, I put both Microscope and the cheat sheet in the Real World folder on there. So, yep, at this point, group decisions are now over. Now, each of us gets to make a period or event in any order on that first pass. Who would like to start?
Just so I have it, just to verify that I'm understanding this correctly. What we're creating here in this Microscope session is this the default timeline if we Vacha didn't muck around with mortals? Am I understanding so like everything here? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically all of this would be what would have happened if Vacha didn't exist.
Okay.
And some of it may go off as normal, some of it you might change. It gives us a thing where we can kind of feel the kind of shockwaves you put through fate a little bit more, because we know that. Because usually what I do is I've got I'll have a list of wielders, and usually about 10 wielders, and then what I'll do is it's a random roll for it. About half of them I put tied in to some of the things in that timeline, or like where we're at in the timeline, and then the other half are not.
Okay.
So sometimes there may be some major figures that are brought up, or people who are close to them that could be important. Or sometimes you might end up, with a villager who's supposed to warn his fate is to warn his village that bandits are coming so that they can escape.
Okay.
Pirates. The pirates are coming.
Land pirates. They're all pirates. And then if you, I know, Jim, it sounds like you've definitely done Microscope before.
I have, yeah.
Okay, and Michael, have you?
I've played it once.
Okay, so yeah, then the periods are the big ticket items, events happen underneath, and then later on we can add scenes. All right. Anybody want to begin with a period or event? Well, it could be a period at this point.
Why don't you go ahead and jump off as our first lens here?
Okay. Put one that's maybe a little further out. Put the Broken Empire. Just a great empire briefly flares to life. And for as far as light or dark, that actually probably just put these ones you can't put the labels on the top ones, but we can kind of use like red or blue probably for that, or maybe yellow and like light color, dark color. Make a note that would be a dark period. And a little bit later on in the chronology. So I don't know if we want to go from right to left or.
Go ahead and fire it up, Mike.
All right. I'll add something.
I'm sorry. Mike or Michael?
Let's call me Mike since we already have a Michael, so let's call me a Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
sure. All right.
my father is Mike, so it's always a little weird when I refer to Mike.
Okay.
I got used to that being someone else for most of my life.
All right. All right. So I can. So this is the first pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a period or adding an event in a period that's been created.
Okay. I'm going to add a period. Let's see. Add a list. Time of reaving. I'll go ahead and put that between the Broken Empire and the bookend, and let's make that dark. So let me edit that. How do I edit? Oh, just that. Just click on it. Or let's make it light. Let's go against type. There I am. Oop, did my light go?
I haven't seen the light go yet.
Oh, it's still there?
It
just disappeared off my screen.
It says time reaving for us.
Okay, I meant to put a light in parentheses after that. So let me see if I can add. Let me see if I can edit that.
There we go.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Excellent. What do we got here? Reading the Broken Empire. And so, a period, an event, or a scene. There we go. Okay. I'm like, I was clicking on it, but I needed to click on the actual little, pencil there. All right. So in the time of reading, a universal language was developed. Everyone, with the intent of everyone, so that everyone in the world would speak the same language.
Okay, cool. So in this one, who would like to be the first player who creates the lens?
Mike, why don't you go ahead? Okay, I'm just going over the rules now to see remember what lensing does. Yeah, I guess we start by picking the focus, right?
Mm-hmm. And then what we found out here is keeping a list of, well, let's put focus. So we kind of put whatever the focus is as it changes.
Oh, I see. That's right, because we keep track of the foci. Let's go ahead and start with Diluvia. Start fleshing that out. So having done that, now we start making some history.
And I recall you either make the lens makes two nested things, either a period with an event or an event with a scene.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't know if oh wait, no wait. That's we already have the Rise of Diluvia being separate from the Broken Empire because it's its own period. So let's keep it simple and just say peoples of the world find refuge on a newly discovered island. And let's make that light. Oh, and wait. Oh, I see. There it is. There's my event. Yeah.
And we've seen for, if you want to create good things, you don't have to, a scene inside of that. We've done for scenes is just doing it on a card. They're a bit longer. We can either do one of two things. You can either create a card with a basic thing of a scene and then open it up with the, or if you click on the thing itself, you kind of put scene in his comments, and that'd be probably if someone who's not in the scene can make some notes about that, or we can make them after the scene's happened. There's one of two ways to do it. So we can either have it so you open up a scene to see what's in it, or it still works pretty well to scroll through and see stuff by having it just be a longer graph that has the information in it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really. I think I'm still not exactly following that. So I think for the moment, why don't I go ahead and pass on nesting a second thing within the thing.
Okay. And Jim, should you follow after, or you want me to follow after?
So we're focusing on Diluvia. So I'm going to do a new period, which I add a list for that?
Yep.
Okay, so the diaspora which comes before the Broken Empire. And so that's my period. And then an event within that is going to be let me see. And the diaspora is.
I'm gonna fill my drink real quick.
So if I want to edit that, yeah, go ahead. What's my event? All right, and that's so the diaspora is my period, and an event within that period is passage through pirate waters.
Do you envision that being a light or dark event?
This both dark.
Or tone?
This is dark times. It's not good. Not
Also, do we need to add tone? Oh yeah, do we need to add tones to our bookend events or bookend periods?
Yeah, I think we can on those.
Would it be safe to call the coming great comet a dark event, a dark period?
Probably. I'll change Rise of Deluvia.
Oh, here we go. And Michael, is it your turn now?
Yes, I believe it is. So let's go. Okay, check on this. So muted. For the passage through the dark waters, I think they did like the challenging of the pirates to also not challenging it. We'll say war with the pirates for safe passage. We'll actually put it a light. So that's the thing. At one point, the survivors had gathered and went to war to kind of have safe passage. Whether that succeeded or not, not necessarily. It's light, but they still might have failed. Okay, so then every player taking a turn. The land gets to go again and make history one more time. If you like to, you can make two nested things, and then we just choose. The person to the right of you picks something that appears during the last focus. It makes it a legacy.
Oh yeah. Okay. So how do I want to wrap this up? So let's see. We need to tie. What can I add to tie everything to Deluvia? Let's see. We've got people finding refuge on a newly discovered island. There's passages through pirate waters, including a war with the pirates for safe passage.
Deluvia hasn't. We don't have Deluvia down there as having fallen.
No, I was eyeing that for the broken. I was considering tying that to the Broken Empire.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right.
So yeah, maybe let me do that then. Let me add that as an event. So let's see. We're gonna say new Deluvia something falls. Let's say overextend its naval navies in trying to extinguish the
What?
what's wrong?
Foolishness. The sun will never set on the Diluvian Empire.
Well, it's going to be up to
We have colonial officers all over the world.
it'll be up to Captain Tattoo to do something about that.
Right.
Trying to extinguish the unified pirate league.
Now all I'm picturing is just Tattoo from Pleasure Island with a vacha.
And we'll label that dark. And I can nest something in that if I so choose.
Sure can.
If you want a specific scene, yeah.
We'll say Commodore. I'm just gonna start it with. I'm gonna start with scene. That's all. I'm gonna. If I can get to actually editing. Okay, let's try this again. Scene. Commodore. What name just came to my mind earlier today? Duncan Marymount. Because I was driving past Marymount University, and the name just came to me as a riff off that. So, Commodore Duncan Marymount. I just realized that none of you are local, so you don't even know what Marymount University is. I live in the DC area, for whatever that matters. Anyway, Commodore Duncan.
Illinois.
Oh, right on, Illinois. I grew up in Cleveland, so
Okay.
in Midwest.
University of Illinois. I'm in the same town.
Commodore Duncan Marymount. Disappears. Disappears in search of the last. I'm going to capitalize that. The last Buccaneer. Taking the flagship of the Diluvian Armada with him. I guess that's dark, right? Sure, let's call it dark. I can't think of what that would be like.
Maybe.
Well, it could be light for him and night for everyone else. Let's do that.
Or if you're the pirates.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, there it is. So I've nested that within the overextension of New Diluvia.
Excellent.
And presumably that's
great.
leads to its fall somehow. And there I am.
Okay. And it looks like I think I'm the one to your right. How we're doing this for creating the legacy.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, technically, well, the way I guess it depends on how.
Go for it, Michael.
Icons are labeled.
It's all good.
Yeah, actually, down here, Mike, you're in the middle. I'm on the right.
We'll go. You know what? This is you organize this event. We'll go by whatever you've got oriented on your screen.
Okay. See, I'll go legacy there. So with this, I like the idea that this will be after, or possibly sort of before, the pirates. The success of the pirates drives many of the countries to rely more on land travel and land trade, bringing more people together.
Sure.
Have a light thing, so we got them because the pirates have done pretty well early on, and it's one way to kind of start bringing the countries together.
So is that a separate event, or is that a scene nested under?
It would be an event. An event
okay.
Underneath.
So should I bump up the scene because I had that tied to New Diluvia's overextension? like so.
No, actually, I'd like it because like you've got the last bucket here, so this would actually be before.
Oh, right.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Let me do this. I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. Yeah, put it up there
Nice.
so we know it's what that's in. Gotcha. I screwed that up. Okay. So explore that legacy, and now the new lens. Jim, you'll pick a new lens and start a new focus.
All right, let me see. So should I just add it below Deluvia here?
Yep.
I want to focus on the time of reaving. Know what the deal with that is. And okay, so I'm gonna do. Oh, I could do a new period, I guess, couldn't I, as well?
Sure.
Yep.
So the focus is supposed to be. Let me tell you what my focus is. Actually, I want my focus to be competing Messiah figures. That's one of the things we said we wanted in the game. And I'm gonna add a new period. Which one's Prophecy War? Actually, I'm going to call it the War of Prophecies. And that is going to come. It's going to fall right there after the time of reaving and before the bookend. War of Prophecies, who bore that start? That. Which is what's an event in the War of Prophecies? Foretold Massacre is an event in the War of Prophecies. Keeping it dark. And then I think it goes to player to my right, which is Mike, right?
Yeah, I think all of us have different.
Yeah, I think
it's in different orders, but if Michael's to your right, then you're to my right. So
Actually, Michael's to my left. I think we're going by whatever Michael sees.
Yeah, I've got
when it was
Michael on my left and then Jim on my far left. So yeah, if I go right is Jim, right of Jim for me is Mike, and then me. It's basically the
there we
opposite.
go. So
yes,
okay,
the leg that and it move. I started the first.
Go around the table to the left. So
maybe we should put this down on a different on a separate card.
Yeah.
what the actual order of what the player order is.
Yeah, I'll just put order.
Anyways, I have declared a focus. I've made a new period and an event within that period. So whoever goes next, jump right in.
Okay. The focus being competing Messiah figures.
Competing Messiah figures is the focus. So I feel like that can rear its ugly head anytime.
So now we go back to me. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, I think that's the case. Yeah. Fired up.
Okay. I'd like to take care of one more point of business. We are supposed to be tracking our legacies as well. So I'll go ahead and create a legacy list.
No, there's. Oh yeah, I've got the focus myth legacy.
What was the first focus, Michael?
First legacy was.
Or legacy, yeah.
Was on the pirates. So
yeah, if I remember correctly,
that's where they relied on basically other countries coming together partly because of the success of pirates.
So maybe the success of pirates, would that be a good? Okay. Oops. Let me add that there. Oh. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Success. Oh. I'm going to say pirates rule. Exclamation point. All right. So now we're building off Messiahs. There is a foretold massacre. I will add an event to the time of reaving. Period. And we're going to say the universal logos. What's another word for church? What's another word for? What's a good word for religious organizations? That isn't super obvious. Don't want to call it a church. Family foundation. Yes.
Brotherhood, sisterhood.
The logos family.
Okay.
Takes advantage. Utilizes universal language to overwhelm other organized religious organizations with unprecedented speed. And we're going to make that light. There's my event.
Okay.
And you can nest a specific scene within that if you want to.
Oh, I can?
Yep. You can do a nested. You can do up to 2 things, that one of which is nested under the other.
Okay.
At this point.
Let's see. What can... That's a little on the nose. Going back to the, once again, consulting our Vacho list. All right. Oh, want to make that light as well. Let's make that light as well. Edit labels. Candle Merrymoth publishes the Lexicon of Journeys. And that should be the end of it for me.
Awesome.
All right.
Getting a lot of light, getting a lot of light in this. Getting a very happy timeline. I'm looking. That makes me want to look forward even more to wrecking this once I go into Vacha mode.
Do we want to have an overwhelming amount of light, partly to see how y'all screw it up?
Well, that seems to be where we're leaning so far, and I'm very happy with that.
I kind of like that as a meta.
Not that we need to stick that. Yeah.
So for the War of the Prophecies, in a small city, 2 warring churches have taken over, and violence has broken out. The wrong god shows up to smite them.
The wrong god.
We worship Dave. We worship Steve. I'm Bill.
Bill?
God, Bill.
Is he with you, man?
Well, no, but now these guys are gone.
All right, so now I think I can add one last thing, is how that works.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, taking turn, the lens gets to go again and make history one more time. Again, making 2 nested things if desired. All right. All right. The comet cults spring up. Can we have stuff under the bookends? Because the bookends are periods, right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the comet cults spring up. That is an event. I think that's going to be late because they're just gonzo. And within that is is a scene. This is a specific scene, which is Professor Erasmus Carbuncle's ill-fated attempt to dimensionally shift to the comet's surface.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Professor Erasmus Carbuncle.
yes. Good news, everybody.
I've discovered the thing we're looking for. It's on the comet.
So I think I feel like, even though that might not end well for Professor Erasmus Carbuncle, that might be a funny scene. So I'm going to make that light in tone.
Okay, so I think that's all the way around.
So
right?
then, yeah, and Michael, you did the legacy on the last one, so it would be Mike who does the legacy, right?
I guess so, yeah. Can't legacy your own focus, I guess. So, yeah, so we had, right now we have an existing legacy of Pirate's Row. Of the stuff that we've come up with, what do I want to see played out more? Let's see, what did we add this go around? We had we have Comet Cults, we have 2 warring churches, and then a third god, apparently, or the wrong god. They could be, the 2 warring churches could have the same deity. We have the Logos family introduced. I'd like to hear more.
We've got the Lexicon of Journeys.
Yeah, just another tidbit in case that plays into the perfect tourist bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide whether I want Comet Cults or the 2 warring churches to be the legacy. I feel like they're both important things. I mean, we want holy wars, and we also want a comet to destroy everything. Let's say the two warring churches will be my added legacy. And now I can make an event based on either the 2 warring churches or Pirates rules, because I can go back to a prior legacy if it strikes my fancy.
Yep. Explore a legacy.
Let's do both. Let's go to, which period do we want to go to? All right, so I have established a pirate religion, more or less. Is that light or dark? It depends. I mean, I guess it depends on how you feel about pirates. I mean, yeah, they're mean and they steal and they ravage and rampage everywhere. But yeah, I just read this book called Raiders and Rebels about the about the history parts, because my last Gauntlet campaign was a pirate game. And it made an interesting point about how, yeah, they were the scum of the earth, but they're also products of a society, of like basically a global society where there's like where there's no upward mobility for anyone who wasn't born noble or born rich. And it was like the only way for people who were.
So they also had like
Yes.
surprising lists of rules.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes.
super organized. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, they definitely had a code. They were certainly more democratic than a lot of societies. You know, one vote, one person, one vote. I mean, it was an interesting kind of vibe. But I'm gonna label it. Well, if it's gonna, you know what, if the continued galvanization and success of pirates leads to the breaking of the empire, I guess then we're gonna make that a dark event, a dark tone. Now, where do I want that event to be placed in the timeline of the Broken Empire? We'll make it first. Yeah, Code of Buccaneering becomes a full-blown religion. Then the pirates become successful. Then the Nidalvia overextends itself to try to extinguish the Unified Pirate League. And then, yeah, that will be my legacy exploration for this go-around.
Okay. You ever seen QI?
I don't think I've even heard of QI. What's QI?
Oh, it's a British panel show. Like, I love British panel shows. Just comedians basically given an opportunity to do stuff. But my improv troupe, we used to do some various things to start off our show with, and I would do a QI every once in a while. One of them I did on pirates. My favorite I found, there was a pirate who, like, generally if you were a regular ship, you'd stop for pirates before you'd stop for like ships from a country, partly because the pirates are just going to take what they need, and usually you'll be fine.
Right.
Countries might actually like take you. But one of them, there was a pirate who, like, they were celebrating one evening. He threw his hat overboard. So did everybody else. So the next day, they actually ran down a ship, boarded it, just took their hats and left.
That's so awesome. That's just great.
You saw pirates, man? What happened? He just took all of our hats, man.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So we've been doing a lot with the pirates and the prophecies and the wars. I think I want to make sure I'm adding in some stuff that's not directly tied into that. So I think for the lens for this one, how about the Plains People Unite. I kind of like this being
what was your
what?
The two warring churches? What was the scene or event that we had to go with that?
Oh, just the two warring churches have taken over a small town. Violence broke out, and then the wrong god showed up to smite them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I
basically,
had thought that was from before that.
Yeah, that was basically not one of the gods that they were doing. So the Plains People Unite. And how about we go for a event. A Plains King brings together countries in a loose coalition. Since they're further away from the seas, they don't have the ability to trade and kind of gain wealth quite as easily. So you have someone bring them together to try to make them share what they've got. And it starts off a little bit light. We'll make the Plains People Uniting dark, because most of what we have is light. Well, actually, let's take most of the teams are looking through. We'll make it light.
What's the focus again?
The focus on this will be the uniting of the Plains people. So, Okay, I've created the event or the period and the event in between the time of Reaving and the War of the Prophecies.
Okay. And then who's
So we're
next?
going to my left is the next one, which would be Michael.
Oh, right. So we're Plains people. We're in Plains people mode. I'll add a scene. The Plains King receives prophecy or delivers prophecy of the foretold massacre. Yeah. Dark. And there's my scene.
Okay. So I'm going to add an event to the diaspora, which is I'm going to say which is I want to get into a little bit of strange ancient monuments that harken back to a different age. So the obsidian redoubt is discovered on the plains, and I'm going to have a scene under that, which is this is scene. Edition. The obsidian redoubt is discovered on the plains. That is one of your
Monuments.
strange ancient monuments that harken back to a different age, and a scene to play out under the discovery during the time that the obsidian redoubt is discovered is the molten guardian stalks and slays the first expedition.
Okay. I think that's back to me to close up this focus or this lens.
Don't you get to do? I think you get to do a last
Yep.
pass on it, don't you?
Yep. I think I'm
Yeah.
going to have.
Oh, sorry. You're going to close it up by doing a pass on it. All right.
I'm going to do during the War of the Prophecy. A leader of the Plains people takes. I don't want to say tribe because we use. I mean, I guess tribe's been used in a lot of things. Takes his tribe through a portal. It said they will return. Whether they will or not, I think what takes them there is going to be dark because this is a desperate act they're doing. All right, and that'll close it up. Which means who's not done I think, yeah. Jim, you haven't done a legacy yet?
Yeah, I have not done a legacy. Now, look to the right. The lens picks something that appeared during this last focus and makes it a legacy. All right. Oh man. Portals to other dimensions. That's the legacy. We've established that other dimensions are theoretically reachable. We've got a portal. They left. They said they'd come back. So that's our legacy, portals to other dimensions. And now, having done that, I do explore a legacy, create an event or dictated scene that relates to one of the legacies. Oh, okay, yeah. One of the reasons the coming of the Great Comet signals the end is that the portals fail. And that is, I'll add that on the end under the coming of the Great Comet signaling the end. That's it for me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that means if we want to go around one more time for each person being a focus, and then we'll have our history, and then we can also finish up in a couple of some of the stuff with the Vacha, like the destruction and the steps it would take for your goal. Okay, so I think that if that went to me, that takes it back to who was the first one? I think Jim, were you the first one to do?
Nope, it was Michael.
Mike, for the Deluvia.
Sorry, it was
yes.
Mike. Mike, yeah.
All right. So let's see. I haven't destroyed Deluvia yet. Well, we're starting to. Well, we've started establishing how new Deluvia falls, but we haven't killed old Deluvia yet. I feel like that should be tied to the diaspora.
What's your focus?
So my focus will be let's make it the Molten Guardian. Or is it the Obsidian Redoubt? The Obsidian Redoubt it is. Right, so what does that mean for my next contribution? Event. Well, I feel like we need to destroy Deluvia before the passage through Pirate Waters, because people are seeking passage for a reason, because they've just been scattered because Deluvia got destroyed beforehand. And the Molten Guardian, oh, you know what? See, I'm going over our palette to see if anything. No, we've covered our palette pretty decently. Actually, I'm going to take back that Obsidian Redoubt focus. How do you get rid of how do you delete something?
Oh, either do one thing to just replace something else, like write something else in. Or
Okay. Let's just do something. Can I just put in a generic Cataclysms thing?
Yeah.
It's
totally cool. Whatever you want the focus to be.
Yeah, let's just go for Cataclysms. So we're going to destroy Deluvia in this event. Deluvia is destroyed by something. Let's see. Well, we can go classic and do an earthquake. We haven't. Let's see. What are some other good cataclysms? Ice Age, that's been done before.
there's Pompeii.
So as part of my background, it's like my Vacha's goal is explicitly to raise Deluvia from the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, so maybe we do want to
from beneath the waves
by flooding. Make that a quick event, and we'll bump that up to the beginning of the diaspora. There I am.
Après le deluge, yeah. Yeah, there's no way to make that light. That's yeah.
Unless they're super evil, but we'll just run with that. Yeah, the period is dark, so we'll just keep that going. All right, that should be it for me.
Okay.
And then it's whoever is officially to your left. I think that goes next, right?
Which is you, Jim.
Which is me. All right, here we go. And our focus is cataclysms. All right. Cataclysms. All right. The Fall of Magic. Folk magic fails for 7 generations. So all those minor folk rituals that people were used to relying on to help keep their little villages independent stop working. That's a cataclysm. That's cataclysmic for those people.
Where's that one at? Because I saw it a moment ago.
What's that?
Where's that one at? I saw it a moment ago, but now
it's under the Plains People Unite.
Oh, do hit return if you're still. Oh, you moved it up there. I got it. Okay, cool.
Is it?
Yep,
you see
there.
it?
Yeah, it was at the bottom. Magic. I was looking for something.
Oh, sorry. No, I sorry. I'm just chronologically.
Yeah.
Messing
Well,
with
I
that, so.
didn't realize you added to it, so I was looking for something like this. I was like, I just saw Fall of Magic like that.
Yeah. So, and then a scene within that is the Royal Mare's Miscarriage. Which goes under the Fall of Magic. We've got a Plains King there.
Okay.
All right. So that's me.
I'm going to go back to Rise to Deluvia. This will be one of the things that kind of deals, because we're dealing with the fall of Deluvia, right?
Yeah. Well, it's cataclysms in general is what we're.
So with the cataclysm in particular has to do with Deluvia. The monarch of Deluvia declares himself equal to the gods because of his perfect civilization. And triggers their wrath, which I think will lead to the destruction, maybe not immediately, but the destruction by flooding. We'll crib from the Greeks. They had that stuff. They'll punish you for the hubris that only the gods are allowed to have.
Makes sense to me.
All right. What hasn't been broken? What hasn't been broken yet in this world?
There's plenty of stuff to break.
Yeah, we broke Deluvia.
You can have cataclysms anytime.
Yeah.
You want a cataclysm? I get you a cataclysm. I got cataclysms all over the place. What do you want? Take you back to the back lot. You want Pompeii? I got Pompeii. I'm going to refill my drink.
Want a methane explosion? We haven't had one of those yet. The new thing.
You want that thing like that town in Pennsylvania where it's smoking all the time because of the coal fire? I got that too. Be right back.
The time of reaving as yet remains undefined, exactly what reaving means and why is it light instead of dark. But I can't quite tie it to a cataclysm yet in my head. Technically, the bookmark end is simply the signaling of the end. Doesn't mean things end in this age. Technically.
That's correct. The coming of the Great Comet signals the end.
And back.
Excuse me. Now we haven't actually concerning the Broken Empire, we haven't actually broken that empire yet. We've built up to it, but haven't actually done the deed. So let's.
It's something if you want. If it's one of those things if you want to close it, cool. If you want to leave it,
that's true. Yeah, I mean we don't have to fill in every nook and cranny.
It's totally. It's your play, bro.
Yep. If you want to demolish it, demolish it. But don't do it because you feel like you have to. Do it because you destroy something because you want to, not because you have to.
Sure. Well, I am very intrigued by the Subsided Redoubt, so I want to do something with it. So let's do it here. Event. From the Obsidian Redoubt. Let's see. What's the last Buccaneer? Triggers the volcanic fault line, which breaks the empire. And yeah, that'll be my last wrap up for this Cataclysm focus.
Great.
Okay. Which
And
I think makes
I think who is to
Yeah, I'm to your right according to my
yes.
thing.
Yeah,
So
it's you. It's you. The first time around, you did his legacy too.
So the legacy, one you just added was the last Buccaneer triggerable about the volcanic fault line.
Yep.
Yep.
I think for the legacy, I'll cheat you again real quick. So we've got the fall of magic that's going with this. I think I kind of want to make the legacy. And in particular, there we go. So I think place an event. I like the idea of the seventh generations. That sacrifice of a village magic back to the world.
Ooh.
It should be light.
Yeah, that's.
And actually,
just a village. That's
just
actually a good bargain.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty good bargain.
Either way, I'm not complaining. It's just one village. There's lots of villages.
Yeah, you must have price lined that or something.
Yeah. Well, the previous game they actually had one of the early events was a magical backlash because of something that happened that killed everyone below the age of 13 in the world.
Ooh, ouch.
And then in the second session, they stopped the thing that would have caused the backlash. One of them kind of accidentally created a god from their wielder and stopped all of that. And then we're looking at the whole rest of it going, well, the gods aren't going to leave now. We don't have all this other stuff because now this prophet won't be the only child who survived. Everything's different now. It's just a village, not all the children in the world.
And I think it's whose focus is it now? It's my focus, right?
Yeah,
because I
it's your
did
focus.
competing with side figures last time. So focus is there. It says on the current focus. My focus is the legacy of the monuments. Yeah. All right. Legacy of the monuments. That's my focus. So oh, Here we go. Okay. This is a light event. All right. The monarch uncovers the inner chamber of the Coral Cathedral, which is under the rise of Deluvia, refuge on a newly discovered island. And coincidentally, just before, he declares himself unequal to the gods because of his perfect civilization. Triggers their wrath. So that's I guess that's an event as opposed to a specific scene, because that I imagine there's a bunch of stuff that comes with uncovering the inner chamber of the Coral Cathedral. So I'm going to leave that with that.
Okay, so for me,
Yeah.
put this here. So under the time of reading, I guess it's more of a scene that takes place with universal language being developed. The mouth of Amalok speaks, whispering the ancient language and giving the universal language to the people.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right, let's go to the War of Prophecies period. And see. All right, I've added an event. Remnants of Deluvia are discovered in the small city of Fanbach. And that's my contribution for this go around.
I think that takes it back to Jim to close her up.
All right, so I got one last thing, and then we do drop legacy onto it. What I'm gonna do. Okay. What do we call this? Oh yeah. Okay. Make sure I'm getting this word right. I am getting that word right. Okay. All right. So there is an event. Dark. The light of the comet reveals the crystalline ossuary.
Ooh.
Last of the strange ancient monuments to be discovered by men in this age.
Okay, so I think we take. I think what Mike does a legacy. Last focus.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right. The legacy will be the Choral Cathedral. And scene under the word prophecies. All right, I've nested the scene under the two warring churches event and the prophecies. Actually, let me edit that because I'm going to change the wording if I can. Oh, here we go. Now, how do I save it? There it is. Yeah, the Choral Redemption launches. Let's fix that. Launches a sneak attack on the Knights of Logos. And that's how well, that's what happens. So that is
That's great. We've got our cults are cranking up here. Awesome.
Oh, right, that was the legacy. I just lost track of what I was doing. Okay, so there's my
This
legacy edition.
Last focus.
Okay.
Can't think of a better name for it right now, but I like the idea of a great college, a great center of learning that appears. Put it maybe. After the War of Prophecies, with the remnants of Deluvia, some of this there, we end up creating a great college, and we'll say that the
If you define an age, that's a pretty good school.
yeah, the oh, An expedition recovers the lost tribe. Okay, it's also with that. All right, and it goes to my left. So, Michael.
Okay. Dealing with a great college, huh?
Are you light or dark on recovering the lost tribe there?
Oh, I'll go with light on that one. And the Great College itself. Yeah, I had a couple other ideas, but I'm like, we've got lots of stuff about prophecies, wars, civilization.
Yeah.
This time to have something a little different. Oh, I'm sorry. Great College should be light, not dark. Okay. So I think it was that Michael. Each one of you.
I think he's cogitating.
Okay.
I
just wanted to make sure you weren't waiting on me for something. It's just like, no.
No. I heard him make like a
Yeah, I made thinking noises.
Let me see.
So it's the weird thing about Microscope. There's a lot of waiting in Microscope.
Oh, right. But yeah. That helps me plot my next edition, or at least try to anticipate it. Okay. So, okay, events. Professor Linstrato Carbuncle revolutionizes astronomy through the application of magic.
All right. In the time of Reaving, the Lyceum of Merrymoth becomes the first universal higher learning institution, which perhaps might provide some inspiration for the Great College at a later time, or maybe the Great College is that institute carried on through the centuries. Who knows? But I feel like it. I put it there because it's tied to the Great College somehow.
Okay.
So there we go.
So for the last piece of that, and I'll just do a thing for it with the Great College. Great College rediscovers the methods needed to summon great spirits and demons. All they need is the comet in the sky.
All right.
And let's just do a lens or a legacy, and then we can call her done.
Yeah, and I think that's me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the legacy is something that appeared during this last focus. Light revealed the crystalline ossuary. Discovered the methods need to some. Oh, okay. No, the legacy is great demons is the legacy. And then I can do one last event or dictated scene that relates to one of the legacies. All right.
Holy shit.
What's that?
The theater I do a lot of work at got hit by a truck.
Oh
my God.
I mean, they're between shows right now, but I don't know if they were rehearsing, if the show moving in was rehearsing, but they struck. Good Lord, looks like they might have actually even gone into the men's dressing room.
Holy shit.
Like, holy
So you're
shit.
saying no one was there at the time?
I don't know if anyone was there at the time. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
But like it's in the men's dressing room at that point.
Right.
That's what it looks like. That's
right through the wall.
Yeah, that's holy shit. And it's freezing cold out here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oh, that's bizarre. Yeah, so the show just closed Saturday, and next Thursday another one opens. Trying to come over the tracks from it's weird because like to get to the station, like you have to turn, go the right over the railroad tracks. You turn, and you actually have to go in a decent chunk of change to get there. From the food hall lot, got hung up, revved up, lost control, and took down one of our street lights, and then careened into the building. No one was hurt in the theater.
Eesh.
Um, in the War of Prophecies, here's a thing that happens. Demons are mistaken for lost gods. That's dark. And can I do lens? An event or dictated scene. That's it. Boom. Done.
All right. So it looks like we have got at least a chunk. I might occasionally to add some, I do some microscopes on some short ones, stuff in over the course because it'll be a drop in, drop out campaign because Vacha make that super simple to do.
Yeah.
Cool. A lot here to work with.
This was fun.
Yeah. If you
Like this world.
on any of the Vacha stuff.
Are we going to do a little collaborative development on that, or what's the sitch with that?
Well, I figure with those, like your goals, you want to have like four sort of things, like four sort of milestones you need to hit to make those happen, and then figuring out the destroyed by, and then when we actually play, like next week we would have everybody just pass theirs around.
Oh, we do our connections. Okay,
Yeah.
when we actually sit down and play that's totally cool. That works.
Yeah, because then beyond that, it's just kind of just deciding what are the things you have to do to reclaim Deluvia from Seer to create the new Garden of Paradise.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, like putting in the rest of it. Let me I can get you the Roll20 link real quick because I don't know if I had it in there or not.
Yeah, I've got it. It's neat. You got like cards in there and stuff, and it's pretty cool. It looked like there were a couple of whatever, like pictures to indicate which which they were and stuff like that. So
yeah, if you find a picture that kind of fits the thing you want, we can put that up on there. And
sure.
the one thing that is super useful is, do you know how to make links in Roll20?
Nope.
So I've got like each of the, I'm bringing it up right now. Each of the domains are on, I think it's just all this is stuff I used on the previous one. I'll create a new map for this world compared to what I had for the other one. Those are kind of fun. It takes a little bit of time and it's easy to screw up. In there, let me just go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to create a couple copies of the character sheets. So to create a link, all you have to do is put brackets around it. So those are mostly used in this one. The rules are simple for Wield. When I say it moves really quick. The biggest part about actually coming to the rules is looking to see what can I grant a wielder. And I can go, let's change the name of these. And Jim, you're left ahead?
Yep.
Okay. And Mike, have you joined that yet?
I don't know that I have.
Okay.
Where do I find the link for that?
I think in the Wield World folder, I think in the little introduction thing, I believe I put a link to it in there. I'm opening it back up to double check. Yeah, that little spiel. Yeah, I've got the Roll20 invite on there.
Ah, there it is.
You know,
I logged into this for a while. Oh yes, I have logged. Oh wait, I have logged into this before.
Okay.
Familiar.
So let me create a Vacha sheet real quick here for you. It's AEL. Yes, because mine is different every time I see it. I get a little confused on that one. Yeah, and I've got it so it can be. Both of them are in everybody's journal. So you don't really watch themselves, and I've got like some of the previous ones. Yeah, like I created little folders that would have, including who was their most recent wielder, if their wielder didn't die, and not a lot of information that you actually need on those. And I create the wielders. You kind of get those randomly, and then hand those to you during the actual game, or you have your roll die, hand you that one. And the cool thing is, it's guaranteed, even if you're split up over a large space, it's guaranteed that every scene has at least two players in it, because you have the player and their Vacha. Vacha's I've always done it so Vacha they can have a group mental call if they want. Like they're always able to be in communication, and usually we go with you can feel if a Vacha is coming within a certain mile radius. Like you don't know where they are exactly, but you know one is approaching or near. And sometimes they greet each other. Sometimes we had people run. They said, "Screw that, we're going." Oh, I can remove a couple of these things. These are from previous. Yeah, I just made a copy of the other campaign, removed some stuff, but not all of it. So yeah, for your domains, just all you got to do is just put that in brackets, and it will be. It just has to be the same as in the domain folder, which is pretty much all things, just domain colon and the name of it.
Oh, so should I click to Jim's Vacha here down on the bottom where it says as?
It says as?
I'm looking at Roll20 now. Down on the right-hand side, it says as left ahead and send. Oh, that's probably just the chat window, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, that's the chat window. You open up Vacha on the journal.
On the journal, I'm not sure where the journal is.
Okay, so you've got the little chat thing up there. Then you've got what looks like two pictures, and you've got what looks like a little newspaper.
Nope. I have a screen. It's got name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got the roll chart. It's got a couple of. It's got the deck.
On the right, do you have a little thing with 3 lines sticking out of the right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, click on
that. Oh, that pops the window there. Okay. Journal. Got it. Okay, I see. It's up top there.
Yeah.
We got Jim's Vacha. Oh, okay. All right. So I go that. And then I want to put it in brackets.
Yeah, so underneath, for all you gotta do is if you actually want to look at pull the other characters, just real quick. This is Gazala. One should have just popped up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see how under domains you can just click on the link and it'll bring up a little window with all of the stuff in it.
Well, that's great. Okay, yeah.
So just by putting domain colon, just the same name that's in the domain folder under information, you put it in brackets, and it'll just open that for you. Turn to a link.
Okay, so let me see. So if I go edit and domains, so under domains, I just, do I type domains colon, or because it's already got domains colon, I'm good?
For yours, you'll just want to put for each one domain colon and then the name of it, and put that whole thing in brackets. And So
okay.
what you're doing is you're creating a link, because if you open up where it says rule information start here, the domain folder, it's opening up a link to one of those pages.
Got it. Okay. So I want domain space. Like that. And then colon, domain colon.
And I can create some folders using the names you came up with.
All right.
Folders are easy to kind of keep stuff in, particularly with people coming and going.
Isn't there an air domain?
There should be.
Yep.
Oh, it's not on the sheet.
Oh, and was that in the companion? Well, the companion's got stuff.
I don't think so.
Let me create one.
It's in the base book.
Actually, the companion has a whole bunch of stuff. Air, for whatever reason, this might not have made it when I put it in. It should be odd. I thought it's been used before, but maybe not. Okay, real quick.
Nifty.
Yeah. There.
Yeah. It's the first one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it should come before animals.
Okay, got it here. Okay, give me just a moment. I will put it in. And out. Everybody. Okay, scroll down. There we go. And got it. Okay. It now exists. I'll fix it so it looks better. Yeah, domain error is now in there.
Oh, nice. Sweet, and they're right there. Cool.
And really, the rest of it,
great.
like that little chart on the side, tells you everything you need to know about dice. That all happens real quick. Oh. And every time you give a wielder some power, they get a bit more possibility to control you. This effect lasts until you do not want to be invisible anymore. Notice it's not when like you do something or do combat. Like someone could use that to be invisible and kill somebody or go into combat. Because balance is not a thing this has to worry about. All right, so that looks better.
I think I'm going to call it a night.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta take off too. I gotta crash.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking this world now that we've created it.
Yeah,
This is a good session.
Going pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I will.
Yeah, even just building the time on this one. Sounds good. Thanks for getting us all together.
Cool.
Night, everyone.
Have a good one.
Take it easy. Thanks, Mike.
Later.
Oh, and Michael, I think I'm going to bow out too. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday.